that all of you please mute. So the data can happen. Okay. So this data accumulation is going to happen. Please, all of you mute yourself.
Yeah, it is done.
So then the documents is going to gather from, as I said, from web, whatever we browse, or or IoT, or from social media, or generating the data, or warehouses and all that. We are going to just understand later. This is just setting our mindset towards the data science, and you don't need to really think too far to have a basic understanding how the data happens, and then why this data science is become a big deal now, and why there is importance and value in the market. Because as I told you, the calculation part is taking too much time with the current technology and the current application, whatever is developed. That is where people are moving towards using Python or R language, majority Python, with a lot of libraries and the technologies like with the concepts as data science and machine learning and AI. We'll try to understand the difference between what is a data science, how is it different from machine learning, what is the AI all about, where does the AI fit into this in terms of data science and machine learning. Is it all same or is it different? Okay, why there is three verticals of this thing, that we will discuss and understand. Just try to understand first right now why are we doing the data science is because when the data is grows in a larger scale, the current technologies and applications which are developed, those are not able to calculate and give us the analysis in a quick time. So when we talk about the details like media and all that, there is various ways that we are going to get. We also do so much of activity. That data is going to accumulate, and then somebody need to analyze it to understand how the user behavior is. Similarly, IoT, you are using a lot of hardware today that earlier hardware it is just a placeholder for hard disk to place and use it for technology. But today hardware is basically used as a software, right? So basically hardware is inbuilt with softwares which can track and act, do a lot of things like robots or automated machines or photo capturing and analysis, and there's a lot of things, right? So those are the things. And databases, historically we do save the data in different types, in basically in the hard disk, having as a raw material, or databases which can understand the structured language, like relations between one data set to another data set, all that. So social, again, there is a lot of ongoing activity between the business to business or business to consumer. Again, that kind of data analysis. So activity generated meaning whatever you do in your mobile, right, or computer, or the people in a particular college or office or in a state. So the data gets accumulated and it goes on. Finally, what is important, when we use these algorithms, right, and try to use the technology, somebody need to, the business owner or the higher authority, or you need to have statistics and visualization where you can quickly understand okay, what is going on, right? This kind of tell you what is happening per month, right? So this way, like there is a two products, for example, how the behavior of the product in the January and February, what is which one is doing better. So this kind of analysis you just need to have a glance, but in order to get to this kind of a glance, obviously there should be an engine which can go through all the data and analyze and give you the outcome, right? So this data can be formulated in different visualizations and different type of charts. So as a part of the data science, once you understand and calculate, you need to generate those charts. Then how you are going to what kind of commands you are going to use and how you generate that matters. Clear? So let's talk about a simple example next 5 minutes. Then we'll go to the Python, basically Avian labs, and see how it looks like and how you can practice your day. So though, for example, weekly, few days we have class, but you will be occupied every day, right? There is enough labs and all the content materials, videos, which you can go through and keep yourself busy, right? So you need to spend as much as possible in this duration, because guys, I'm telling you, um, one thing, number one, in order to learn data science, Python, all these things in market, it is so expensive. The worst institution can ask for 30,000, and it can go more than up to 1 lakh. So you are basically saving your money on that. Number two, once you really learn well these concepts and programming and able to analyze this thing, right? In the market, those people are rated highest paid. So you can happily basically start from minimum. The worst can be like 4 lakhs to the highest can go up to with no limitation. So there is a lot of value and demand, and especially with this hard time across the world where there is no business and market is very bad. But there is a constant demand for data scientists. Okay, and AI is always going to be taking place, and whatever the problem we have in the market, uh, um, even doctors will be learning machine learning and data science and Python. So that means if you are learning now, obviously you will have better demand than the other person who was coming from the non-technical, right? So think towards how to secure your job in the market, how to create more value for yourself. So do not take it like, so you just need to do one internship and keep the certificate to show. Uh, that is generally happens no matter what. But what is important is with this crisis, right? World is almost like behind now. Lot of business is being stopped, and lot of jobs are laid off. There is unemployment rate is high. So it's better how to protect yourself, how to create skill inside, so that irrespective of the market condition, you will have a opportunity in the market. Okay, so let's assume that generally there has always been a business problem in the market. Um, so then we need to understand the different solutions for it. So what a data scientist can do, he can try to figure out different solutions for a particular problem, and he can able to tell you most optimized, the best solution among the ones that are found. So in order to do that, now step two, data acquisition is required. So where do we get the data from? It is from the data, like from the device, like your mobile phone or a desktop or servers. Basically, your computer can be a server, right? If you host an application in your machine, then it will become a web server, right? Then when you have application in your machine or in the cloud, when people start using it, then it is going to generate the logs, like how many people logged in today, when they logged in, which product they viewed, okay, how many people purchased, how many people just viewed but not purchased, right? Where they came from, which state, which district, which area, what kind of ages they are, age, the person age, like are they elders, young, or old, what generations are, what type of people from which countries, all this is going to be monitored and logged. Then certain amount of data, like once you purchase, the transactions will be logged into databases. Activity will be logged into text files. So this data will be shared to different partners again. For example, there is a stock exchange, right? Everybody knows. The stock exchange data is basically with one of the main vendor who owns the data. But the same data is being displayed in a lot of websites is because they are going to use the API, right, to basically broadcast the data into other online platforms. So that is how that data acquisition basically comes into the picture. Next, data preparation, right? Data preparation mainly happens, meaning the data comes in various formats. Some are in text files, some are in Excel, some are in different style. So then we need to understand how the data is, what kind of attributes they have. Attributes means in Excel, when you look at we are going to write the column names, right? Like ID, first name, last name, gender, all that. Those are the attributes. So we are going to put all this into order and kind of clean up the data in such a way that we can able to push the data into some data sets. Data sets can be in the format of, it can be Excel, CSV, or SQL Server, like tables and relations, or Oracle, or any this kind of format that is required to get the data preparation towards. Then once you once you are done, can you able to directly do the analysis? You can't. You can't just take the data directly and then put it into reports. You can't do that. That is where we are going to do what? So we are going to do the data modeling, right? This data modeling is one of the topic in the data science, where you take the data, you use some algorithms and machine learning techniques and libraries, and you are going to take the decision to arrive into your analysis. Finally, what happens? So you have data, and then you are going to do the analysis part, and this training and testing data sets is part of the machine learning. I'm going to talk about it later in detail. Meaning, see, one way is, without machine learning, human is going to behave like a machine, where you watch, you take the decisions. Then where is the machine learning coming into the picture? Why do we need a machine learning first of all? Machine learning means we are going to train the machine to behave like a human. It's simple technique, okay? Data science means you are going to look at the different set of data, okay, types of data, a large scale of data in different formats, where you are going to clean and keep it ready, a format, and then analyze. Then what is the machine learning? Machine learning is all about converting a machine to behave like you and take the decisions like you as a human. So far, we have machines, but they are not acting like a human. They only instructed based, meaning if I say, when you get a value for A, value for B, if I say A plus B, then only do addition of two numbers. But if I don't give any instruction, computer will not act. It will keep quiet and idle, and it will just sleep. It won't do anything. Then how do you make the machine to behave like a human? That is where the concept is coming as train the data models and test, right? Once you train, and we are going to put the data set and test. The intention of this thing is, for example, we are writing essay writing, right? Like everybody taking a essay writing exam. So essay writing, if you want to make a machine to validate and give you the score, it is not possible with the current condition. The reason is, essay writing can be deviated. Like you don't need to write as it is, right? Like every comma, full stop, and word, everything need to be in sequential. No such thing. You can pick different synonyms. You can write that, you can rewrite the story in different way, having the same meaning. So then, as a human, that you can understand and give you the marks. But as a machine, right now, it cannot do it without using this artificial intelligence. So that is where we are going to say that, machine, I am telling you that, these 10 varieties of answers I am going to give you for this particular question. When somebody submit answer for this question, you try to see how much percentage it can match towards these 10 varieties in terms of the meaning, in terms of the grammar and outcome of the story. Based on that, you try to give the score. So machine can think about that with all the synonyms and grammar and the meaning of the story, and then it is going to act like a human and we're going to give the score. So that is what the machine learning is all about. So machine learning equals to making the machine to behave like a human. Okay, data science is all about having a different large scale of data in different formats and then able to clean and analyze and use the machine learning techniques or algorithms to process them quickly to demonstrate the visualizations. Okay, so then that's what I was telling you. Like finally, we are going to visualization means the reports. The reports are visualizations. That is how it is going to be. New skills which we are going to get and do the more research and learn more into these things. Right. This is the objective: Python programming and learn SQL queries. Then we are going to learn data analysis and visualization, and which also part of that is a data mining, web scraping, and APIs. Guys, if you have a notebook and pen, try to write down these things, right? So that this is the future. Okay. Any of these, if you are familiar with, if you talk well about these topics, that means you have a job in the market. So it's worth just take a book and pen and try to write down these skills. Today we are going to begin with this particular Python programming, and after the workshop today, which will end around 11:30, where you will start doing your practice in the lab. So we are going to release your accounts, and you can log in and start doing it. And tomorrow again we have a class where we are. So today we will start with a few basics, and followed by we'll do more detailed practice tomorrow. Then after we see, like, if you want to, like, if there is anything left, the third class will go in the deeper in the programming. Then we are going to start with data science. Okay, so I just give you, like, 2 more minutes, like, to write down, or 5 minutes if you want. So write it down, and just one or two, if you can type back and say that if you have taken the notes, then we will proceed to the next one. Okay. So how is it so far, people? Like, are you able to get along? Did you understand the aim and goal? Is it clear? Did you really have you understood the concept and the goal well? Okay, good, good, good. So it's very important, right? When the plan is not right and goal is not right, whatever you do, you will stuck up nowhere and you will not have any interest. Yes or no? So it's important to understand why are we doing this exercise, and what is the importance in the market, and how do you really put yourself into that, in the best model and sellable product, having more demand for your skill is important. Okay, then let's proceed then. So one thing I missed is I did not ask you how many of you are already familiar with the Python, or all are you at the beginner stage? Is anybody completed and is kind of fully done with the Python? Maybe later we are going to yeah. So there is a few things that we can try to do this exercise as a revision for you, right? Don't feel that and you directly want to go to data science could be, but just to feel that it is a revision and try to just to have that for a few days. If all of you know that, then then quickly we can wrap up in 2 days and then get into data science. If majority not sure about Python, then we are going to step back, first few days. Then we go for data science. So far, I see that 25 people already know the Python. 28.
No, I can see that, I can put a poll here. Okay, then let them do that. You have 1 minute time. Actually, can you just go on this? How many people are aware of Python? So we need to go on Python, I think.
Yeah, I think a majority. I mean, only 2%, 3%. I mean, 2 people knows better, and I think then 33 people average, and 39 people no idea. So guys, anyway, this is the version, right? Python, whatever you know, still there is something more to learn. So do some experiments. Try to so maybe I am not sure, like if the average people have you done hackathons using Python, or I think Aradhya Jay, when you are not speaking, please go on mute. I think there's a lot of background noise is coming. So the people who knows Python, the average whoever is said, um, I think can you create one more polling having like Python, knowing Python using hackathons, solid hackathons and not solid hackathons. The coding test, like coding code challenges. Basically, the question is, are you posing one more poll? The question is, knowing Python with the hackathons or code challenges. Anyway, move on. So mainly, let's we are going to focus on the Python and then learn a bit of it as much as possible. Then that too, we are not learning the entire Python as required. It is more into the Python, which is basically required for data science. Okay, put it that way, so that we can able to spend some time and then get into that. Okay, let's move on. So we are going to talk about introduction of the Python, followed by the control flow statements and the conditional statements, and functions, files, files, how to read them and all that. And arrays is kind of named a bit towards a list in Python, and then so and the OOPS concepts, object-oriented concepts. So this is how we're going to begin with. And then step one, let's talk about the introduction. Why Python, right? First of all, though we have, as I said, the earlier programming languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, PHP, there are so many. Why, interestingly, now everybody is talking about Python, and why do we need to care about Python though having these historical programming languages? What could be the reason? So the main reason, so that I'm going to tell you now. If you talk about C language, it is only good for doing the applications in the GUI level, right? In the desktop or applications you can use, or mobile phones, or any type of graphical, UI based uh, applications or process can be defined at the OS level. But it is not good and fit for the web and mobile phone activities and all that. So it cannot be internet based. I mean, in the web based. So that is a drawback. Number two, it doesn't have object oriented type of programming where you can reuse your code. So that is where C language cannot fit for in certain business conditions. Similarly, C++, though it has a object oriented capability, but it is not fit for doing a web based applications. Then what about Java? Java has good capability, right? It is object oriented, and you can able to develop basically web based and Windows based both. Then what is the drawback? So basically, um, drawback is, as of it is also getting better and getting popular, and leading towards the data science and machine learning. In that people are developing those. So it has everything quite excellent, but only few drawbacks are it is not capable enough to handle the large data sets and analyze faster. Okay, and it does not have that machine learning capability. And so then artificial intelligence is not yet brought. So it's again that is open source, and the companies are the combinations they are trying to develop now, right? Similarly, the C Sharp and the Microsoft, it has the same problem. Um, so that is being developed, like machine learning, data science, all that being developed by Microsoft right now. And in down the road, they try to come closer to the Python. Why Python is leading now? Because it has a all the capabilities. Like this particular programming language, it is good for operating system level of operations, good for APIs, good for web-based applications, good for data science, good for machine learning, good for AI. So, and it is it is being used well. Even I was using Python between the year 2006 in US. We have developed a lot of applications. So that time we were using only for doing the file generations, like creating a lot of files, XMLs, and all that, able to distribute. But nobody really understood the the AI side of the Python. So last few years, a lot of people, large community of the, since it's open source, large community behind, a lot of people are contributing their knowledge into this. That is why the Python became so popular, and that has so many libraries and frameworks where people can use them, right? So number one, the data science. Number two, the machine learning, which lead to artificial intelligence, and huge community. It has a very good web development, very simple language, right? Like if you are writing 100 lines in Java or .NET or PHP to get something, here it is only 50%, like 50 lines of the code can give you the same. And Python and data science, all these verticals has a lot of demand in the market. It's highly paid, right? And as told, libraries and frameworks and multi-purpose. As I told, it can work in GUI, it can work in web, it can work in automations and these data science concepts. So that is where the jobs are growing and demand is raising. That is the reason that why you need to go for Python. So let's talk about the little bit, touch up to the previous one as we discussed. So the business applications like ERPs and e-commerce systems are built using this. Software development is done aggressively in a simple time because of the open source and all the libraries and the built-in control systems make you to develop the projects quicker. And it also, the libraries which are there in this Python platform, the toolkits can enable you to develop GUI-based applications and perform better. And web and internet-based and IoT-based also is possible because of the libraries. So what is the structure of the program? Like, how people write a program in Python, right? So basically, if you want to check the, we check the credit rate, right, in the market. Somebody, when you apply for bank loan, um, so if you want to calculate the credit, right, as the person has a good credit history or not, or some different conditions that how do we do it? So basically, in other programming languages, you are going to define the type, like whether the price is integer or or a string or array or object or like that. But here you just simply can type the price equal to so and so, and by default we are saying the credit is good. So then you are going to write a condition like if has a credit limit, then the down payment is 0.1 into price. Otherwise, else the down payment equals to 0.2 into price. So this is how we are going to. So finally, what happens? This down payment has the answer, right? What is the final amount is? How do you print that amount to get the output? So using the print command, and we are going to basically type this. Anything that goes into double quotes is a string. Okay, that is the reason. And within the string, if you want to print some dynamic value, you have to use curly brackets, or you need to put outside of the double quotes. So that is how you print the things that we are going to learn anyway. So first of all, before you going to think about more into this all these things, let's understand three different things very carefully. What is the meaning of the programming? What are the computer programs? And what is the algorithm? Okay, these things are very important. I assume that the people who are not even know about this, just a few minutes we are going to just have a high level thought about this, and then we'll move forward. The programming is all about what? Certain commands are given to a particular system where the system is going to receive the command and act. So this type of computer who understands and acts based on the pure programming, it is a generic computer which we are using today. So the machine learning is different. The machine built with the machine learning can do more than this. It sometimes when there are no the instructions are not matched. For example, I say some instruction and the computer cannot understand. But today, the historical and today's computer system without machine learning, it will not do anything when there is no instruction is not met. But whereas the computer with the machine learning, it can think about the pattern or situation and act. Okay, that is another difference, guys. So I'm talking in real life so that you can easily understand, what is a machine learning about. A lot of people, write books and tell you the month-long story is all about machine learning, but end of the month you don't understand what is the machine learning. So that is why I'm simplifying. There is two kind of machines. One can act like a human, other one can act like a instructor-oriented automated system. Okay. So the first one is programming is all about we are giving instructions, writing a set of code where the instructions are met, and then the code will be executed and you will get the output. Okay. So those called program code and our source code. Or sometimes it's also called it as a script. Any code that we write in the browser, right, on the client side, user machine, that is also called as script. Any code that we write on the server side, where it sits in the server and listen to your questions from the browser and respond, those are called server side programming. Okay, computer programs, basically we are going to write using different languages such as C, C++, Python, C Sharp, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, and PHP, Swift, and Go. There is so many programming languages written by different companies or people, and with their different, each one has a different capability and limitations. Okay, going to the algorithms. What is algorithm? So blindly working without evaluating the best approach, right, is a natural thing. That is a sequential process. Here, algorithms are basically steps needed to do a certain job, achieve some expected result, something like a recipe. For example, if we are trying to fry eggs, right, we follow a recipe. Like the first one is you heat a pan and break the eggs until they are fried, and then basically remove the heat and serve. These are the steps that we follow, right, to in order to do a particular recipe. Similarly, if you want to do a Fibonacci series in the system, right, or find the area of, a particular area of a rectangle or triangle or particular different areas, if you want to calculate, then there is some steps that require some algorithm. Sometimes we want to count 1 to 1 lakh numbers. As I told you, sequential is basically counting one after one, right? There is like, we don't know exactly how many numbers are there, assuming that nearly 1 lakh. How do you know how many numbers are there? The only ways to find out is you have to calculate one after one. That is fine. But imagine, how do you find out there is some number that I want to search for? There is like, in India, so I want to search your PAN card number, right? So what kind of algorithm you want me to follow? If I go and search, your PAN number with every number that is there in the database, it will be like after a few days, it will tell you whether it is there or not. But we want, like, the minute you enter, in few minutes or few seconds, we want to know, we want to find out your number, or, your PAN card number or other card number, and give you the details, isn't it? So in order to do that, you must use algorithms. See, if you are expert in algorithms, if you really understand at least 10 varieties of algorithms and the purpose and implement, you will be treated as a genius, I'm telling you. Okay, all of you, please consider this, especially underline these algorithms, the word, and work on it. From next 30 days, I want to hear from you minimum 10 algorithms. I want you to experiment and list out, what are the algorithms that you learned, what is the purpose of it. If you can do that, you will be, I'm telling you proudly, you will be considered as an expert in the market. I'm telling you that the reason is, just tell me now, like, which algorithm can I follow to find your Aadhaar number from, I have a database of list of Aadhaar numbers across India with their details. But I want to search your Aadhaar number and able to find the information about you in 30 seconds. So what is the best model? Okay. So each of you work towards that. This is the task for you to analyze and research. How can we search Aadhaar number, right? And able to find out the the details in 30 seconds. Which algorithm is best suits towards that. So then you understand, your brain will start understanding and researching to find out what type of algorithms are there, which one can really give me that, the best result among those. Clear, guys? So let's do that. Okay. See, these education workshops or mentoring is all about whatever all my knowledge for 20 plus years of my knowledge, I cannot give you in 30 days, right? It is more, but you can get as much as my knowledge in 30 days by spending your time. The best way is you need to do more research. You need to basically fight and do lengthy hours of research and explore your time, and then we can able to chart and discuss and be better. So that's why I will be putting you into a lot of research on the way where you will explore and learn more things. Next, um, so I want to print some 1 to 10 numbers. How do we do in Python? Technically, there is a range, right? So basically, we are going to define a number like a variable, and the range we are going to say that it is going to start with 1. That means there is a I value. I value is 1, and range is 6. So this is going to print, from 1 to 5, because this is less than the 6 is is beyond the range. So it's going to be from here to before touching that number. So it's going to print 1 to 5. Similarly, I'm also, the other reason I'm showing this picture is we have online environment. So you can use the Hebian Labs as a practice lab IDE, where you can practice all the code challenges and including projects. So you don't need to install one. Also, if you want to really like practice in the desktop and some programs, you want to just play with it and do, you can install this software, okay, and then you open your code and start creating a sample project and create the files like a new file with the extension of py, and you can basically run the code and able to get the output. You can also do that. Either you can practice some examples in the local. Also, we are going to give you Hebian Labs where you are going to practice the rest of the programs which are there. Okay. Similarly, if I want to print, hello, right? How do we do in Python? We are going to use the print statement. Then that hello will be presenting like this. For example, if I want to do some mathematics, right? Some math related calculations, I want to use inbuilt functions. Then we need to import those particular classes or libraries before you do that, assuming that working with the math import. So we imported, it has some functions like a math.py formula. Then if you want to calculate area, so you are going to use this, and then whatever the variable assigned value, and once you do that, then this is how the area is going to be calculated. Similarly, doing a hackathon in Hebian Labs, right? So this is the what particular hackathon, assuming that, and we want to calculate the area based on the two numbers which are given as input. So when the numbers are given as 2 and 7, the area will be 14. What is going to happen? So you are going to use you are going to read the data from the system and store into values, use that variable to calculate the area. So what is this like input brackets? When you type this word input in these brackets, it is going to take the value from the it's like remember, like if any of you having this basic knowledge about C, like enter a value. If you are doing a sum of two numbers, you can write like basically you are going to get the input from the user, like enter a value for A, enter a value for B. That whatever entered in the command line, that will be received into a variable. This is same here. Your inputs will be taken into variables and you are going to calculate it. So how do we print numbers? Using print and bracket. You don't need to put any double quotes. You just simply use the number. It will print as a 9. How do you put a print a string? You are going to use this print and the curly brackets with the single quotes. Then this is going to print hello. How do I print more than a kind of a sentence, and but not directly putting them into a variable and followed by printing the variable. So this is a variable assigned a value. Now I am printing the variable so that my output will be hello Python. So next, how do I calculate area of that previous exercise which we just seen, right? So I'm going to take the numbers, right, in order to calculate area of that. So here A into A becomes the area for that particular, scenario. Then I'm going to print it so that I'm going to calculate area of that particular situation. Then my output will be, for example, if I give 3, 3 into 3 becomes 9. So let's discuss a bit of data types now today, and then a bit of. So I will stop at this level as a theory. Then I'm going to show you how to use Hebbian Labs and practice and with your accounts. I think your accounts will be shared into your. You might have received the Excel, I think. So we need to have a group like WhatsApp or Instagram, some group where we can interact with these people and able to guide them.
We have created a WhatsApp group.
Okay. So
Okay,
we are
just
going
you
to
give
share.
me your number. I mean your coordinator number. Okay, I'll add into that.
Yeah, from our main group, so you can we'll. I think Imran, are you in the meeting? I mean, in the session today. If you are, can you go and share those, yours and Shashigiri and Prashant the numbers into the group and give them the login accounts? Imran,
Also, you can Rajuji, Shankarji, you can see that some chat group also some messages are coming.
okay, yeah, I will. Let me see.
We are recorded now, so by evening actually I'll upload it and I'll send you the link.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that answers where. So you have a recording, guys, so you can use it. And anyway, we daily will be chatting and talking, right? So we can get out. So next thing is the data types. So on the side, Aradhaji work with our guys in the other group, WhatsApp group. They will give you, if not received the accounts, and take the URL and the login accounts and share it to this group.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, please go on mute. And so this data types we are talking about in Python. There are strings, numbers, list, tuples, dictionaries, and then sets and boolean, right? So we'll see. We'll try to experiment each one of these and try to do some examples based on each of those, because these are like learning alphabets, right? If you are not comfortable with alphabets, you cannot write words, you cannot write sentence, you cannot write story. Very simple. So make sure, guys, try to write down in your paper. These are the types. Please go on mute, everyone. Mute yourself. So write down into your notebook strings, numbers, list, tuples, dictionary, sets, boolean. Okay. So I even, if you don't mind, I want you to write this syntax minimum 5 times each. Why am I telling you this? In my experience, I have seen thousands of people in my life as a programmers, right? Most of the time, the problem I see is they basically they don't learn the syntax. They don't remember the syntax. They keep on struggling to understand, or write the particular scenario in the code base. For example, I am writing a program to solve something, right, or save data into database. For every single thing here, every element, if I want to go and look at somewhere and copy paste, then my journey is like, writing my program becomes 3 days. Technically, if I'm good with these fundamentals, right, it's hardly it will take only 1 hour time to complete my task. Since I am not comfortable with this, I don't remember all of, though I know what it is and where to use, but I don't remember the syntaxes. I will write, I basically mess up this everywhere and I will create more issues. And I start, I will research and solve those. By the time it will take, instead of 1 hour, it will be taking 3 hours time. You got it? So you see that in the corporate, some people come in the late nights and next day morning and all that. So I would say at least 50% of those people is because of they are not basically strong with the fundamentals. They don't know which one to use where and how to write that syntax. Because of this basic fundamental problems, they are basically wasting their time and doing the night outs in the office. Hope it is clear for you guys. So write down this list and everything. For example, strings means there is a couple of varieties. In the strings, there is multiple ways to assign the values or read values. So try to go for all varieties of strings, all varieties of numbers like integer, float, or whatever, all the combination. Similarly, different varieties of list, different varieties of tuples, different varieties of dictionary, different varieties of sets, different varieties of boolean. So this way, and write 5 times or 10 times or whatever the number you want. If you feel like you know it, you will remember for life. And weekly once, write it again 5 times each. You are going to lose nothing. I'm telling you with my experience. I lived in 6 countries, guys, and I was a mentor for thousands of MS students across the world from 33 countries. So when a person telling you this means there is a lot of reasons behind. So and it's worth. Once you do this right, when if you can, if you are only looking at the monitor and your fingers are on the keyboard, your eyes are the monitor, and if you're able to continuously type and complete a program without thinking, without stopping, then you will be architect in the market. You will lead the market. You will have you will be highly paid. Okay. So if not, you will be the one of the ordinary person, and you will be getting a job or you will be getting salary, but you will not enjoy you will not be the highly paid person. Hmm? And what is the difference between that person and you? It is just a fundamental problem. You are not good with your basics. You don't remember the syntax. You will struggle to do your program and you will stop every 2 minutes. That will end up wasting your time and you will take a lot of time to do your work. Okay. Hope you understand the reason behind, right? So let's do that. And the syntax for all of this you prepare and practice in the paper. Then this will help you to, when you look at the problem statement, this is going to help you to use the particular type based on the business requirement. So the collections here are basically the list and tuples and sets. These are the different collections. The differences are, these are basically immutable and these are immutable. What is this? That means that once you place the collection in a particular list, you can able to change them. Like you can play and change. Whereas the tuples is basically you can't, is like read only. You can't able to change, right? This, what about the sets? The sets are basically is unique numbers. You cannot have duplicates, right? It won't allow the duplication. So that is the reason we have the 3 different type of collections. So be clear. Otherwise, see, that is what, when you are not clear about the syntax and definition, you will end up, is basically going into the wrong one, and you take the wrong version, right? So when you have clear definition about this, then you are going to pick right. Similarly, we have inbuilt types like text type, numeric types which are like integer, float, and complex, sequence types which are list, tuple, and range. Remember just now in the for loop we have seen this range like I comma range where we are printing 1 to 5 numbers. Similarly, there are other sequence types where you can do it, and a mapping type, right, which is like dictionary. Dictionary means not the dictionary that we basically the concept is same. Here dictionary means you are going to store a particular object or a content or a value in a particular based on a particular key, right? It's like a locker in the bank. Dictionary in our real life, a locker in the bank. In the bank, there are so many lockers, and each customer has given a key and given a particular locker number, right? So then what happens? In the locker, you can store whatever you want, right? All they care about is so a customer need to come with that particular key. Here also, I'm going to give a dictionary. Dictionary means it's a bucket, right? Buckets of you can a kind of a locker system where you can store your things and then you can retrieve based on your number. Like assume in your it's like a cupboard, okay, or racks. When you go to hostel, sometimes you see that in a particular rack, a lot of multiple students are given with the storage, right? In the track, different people have different keys, and you are going to go to the particular rack and to open and take your items. Similarly, the dictionary is going to act. You can store, for example, student data in a particular location and give the key value. When you give that key, that is going to give you back the data. Then going with the sets and frozen sets, that we'll talk about all that. And Boolean, you know it. So as we earlier is here, I told you practice syntax and all the examples here. List out carefully. Also list out. These are the other types that type of collections that we have, which is part of the same thing that we spoke earlier, right? Here, this is the two, and this is the other one. And I'm just given examples of these types. So now, in real life, why do we need to have a data types? Okay. So for example, I am trying to paint something and all of my items are here. This is too small and I can comfortably can search and pick it. Imagine I have this much of collections, right? All are in one bucket, one mug or one container. So most of my time will be, I will be wasting time to find the item that I want. Okay, my focus will be more here into searching the item rather than doing my real work. So whereas if I have these types, divided into different sets, different containers, my concentration will be on the objective of the design, like the paint. Instead of searching these items, I will take the respective item and do my job. So data types is there because of to segregate the data with their format of the data type, right? The format, different data formats that we take, we are going to put them into different containers and use it. For example, if it is a numbers, so let's go to next one. If it is a numbers, we are going to put number into numbers, right? Into the number systems. If it is a decimal, float or real decimal type, then we are going to put it into one type. If it is a string, another type. If it is a boolean, another type. So this way, the content or values is going to be stored into that particular respective data type, where it makes our life easy to handle them. So strings such as all the alphabets or special characters, all this goes treated as a string. Decimal points such as rating and average, everything that will be considered and taken as a floating. And integers such as the numbers like negative or positive, those are considered as a integer numbers. The value, the outcome which comes either in with a simple single decisions like in true or false, those comes as a booleans. So next we have operators in the Python. I think we'll stop at that level. We'll get into the system labs and we'll continue this tomorrow. Okay. So for now, let's understand how the labs looks like. Okay. So basically, guys, here you are going to go with this particular login. I mean, link called workshop.hebion.com. Okay. I will be given user ID password where you are going to use it to log in. So I am using one of the test login. and which I just want to log in into the system. When you log in, you will be seeing this kind of cards, and don't worry about all that. Mainly, you will go for the digital labs, and you are assigned with two courses, right? Code Fun with Python and Data Science Workshop. So begin with Code Fun. These are the basically Python fundamentals where you are going to start with, and it has around 34 exercises so far, which you are going to work on. We are going to top up and add as required during the journey. So on the left side here, you can also have you can go through the content, right? For example, introduction of the Python. If you want to understand what is a Python in background, the basic, the content and examples are here. You just read through. Most of it I explained you, right? So you have some base, and you can still read about it. How do we use variables in in Python, and how do we use the data types as described just now? You can go here. You can even write down this all the examples into your notebook, and then you can practice into our system. Okay, I'm going to show you like how it works. So go through this, understand, and try to practice all the varieties of these examples. Write it into the notebook or copy into the notepad. Okay, and later you can use that your programming playground to use it and practice. Likewise, we have all, and also guys, another important clue that I'm giving you. There is a in each topic there is one solution is given for challenge. For example, there is a multiply 10, right? This is the code challenge we have in our system. Okay, and the solution is given for that. For example, let me show you. So here is somewhere. This is the challenge that you have given for 2 marks, right? This answer is here. Okay, for example, let me show you how it looks like. This is the problem, and yeah. Anyway, the answer also is given to this one. Most of the challenges you don't have answer that for this kind. Anyway, explanation is here, and what it means. What is the problem statement? There is a n number is given, and then you need to multiply that n number with 10. So that means if I give a system is giving 4, your solution need to be 40. If the system is giving 2, the output need to be 20. System is given 3, output is expected output is 30, and you are you are taking 30. For example, here instead of 10, if I put 9, right, my all test cases will fail. Okay, because I have given system is giving where is these inputs are coming? It is preloaded in the system. System is sending itself. You don't need to give any inputs. That is what the code challenge is all about, right? So in every code challenge there is a problem statement, and then there is a sample input and there is sample output. Okay. Similarly, based on that, you need to understand your logic here need to be such a way where the input you need to write based on the input by taking, if it is a string, you don't need to use conversion of the integer. If it is integer type, then you are reading the input. That means now system is given 4. This is taken into input, that is converted into integer and given value to a, and you are using in a value right now. So for example, system is given first time 4, right? Now the a value is 4. 4 into 9 or 10, whatever, this is the result. Then system is given 2. Now 2 into 9, this is 18. System is given 3, and 3 into 9, 27. And likewise, there is more numbers are given, but which are not visible. Those are hidden. Okay, that is how the code challenges works. So if I change this to 10, then my output will match, then I get my 2 marks. Okay. So there is a few solutions are given, which are there in each statement. When you go, for example, conditional statements, here is the one, for one of the problem statement, number sign. the problem is there in the main list. So, but you can look at that and then, for example, number sign, right? Let me search. Here is the number sign. So here, this problem is not solved. You see that? This is by default, we are just giving that. System expecting if the number is given as a 4, it has to say positive. If the number is given as -2, it has to say negative. If the 0 is given, it has to print 0. But there is no such logic here. Okay, here is the conditions that you need to apply. Here is the input and output. What I'm telling you, some of the programs, for example, in each category, there is one solution is given to you. So if I am you, I will try to go here, and then I will read about all the the conditions and all the examples I will practice, and followed by I will open this and understand. So how is the code is written? Same code I will write it into my notebook, and then I will go to this particular problem here, the number sign wherever it is. Then I will go and type that logic into that particular box. Okay. So I will go to this one. I will type that my solution here so that I will get 2 marks. So there are few solutions for few problems. The remaining you need to do it yourself, right? More than that, there is also videos here. If you click on that, there are videos like variables in Python. What are they? There is a video which you can play and learn. Okay. Similarly, input output operators, everything is, all the videos are available. You just need to practice and learn for this. Okay, then once you start doing it, so then, for example, this is my test account. I have 2 marks so far, right? Out of 64 marks, I got 2 for, and I am a beginner. So once you cross your 25%, you will go to this one. Once you cross your 35%, you will go to this one. Once you go to 64 or 65 and above, you will go to this level. So all of you are right now here. You see your numbers, your names. Around 80 people registered, and all of you are in this list. Once you start practicing, then you will be going to this place. First, you start with the minute you get 1 mark or above, you will be here. Then you will be here. Then you will be here. Then you will be here. So you will know where you stand. Okay. One more thing, how do you begin? It is there is a application introduction, how this application works, what is it all about. Number 2, the Python introduction. Number 3, just hello, how to print hello here, right? Just writing this number, and it just print the hello world, and you have written that, and it matches, and you got 1 mark. Similarly, then you are going to do with data, data types introduction lesson, like meaning a bit of orientation here, high level. What is the data type in real life? So that you will understand, how data types works in a kitchen. We are using the data types in life, but nobody feel that those are the data types. See, based on my experience, I would like to teach people that the technology, we born with the technology. The terminology is there in our life. We just need to understand those wordings. Can you mute some people are not done it? I think some background noise is coming. Okay, next one. So all the topics are here. You just begin with this journey today, and wherever you have a concern about the topic or the subject, you can go to these lessons, right? And also you can go through the videos. And one more other beautiful thing that you have here is, for example, if you can't able to solve it, right? And there is a hint and by solution option that it is going to prompt for you, where you can avail it. Okay, this hint is going to tell you what needs to be done and all that, so that you can able to understand the problem better and try. If you still fail, you can click on by solution, but one problem with this is you only get 50% of the marks. So better not to use this by solution until you try with all options. So if you avail this, you instead of getting 2 marks, you will get only 1 mark. The more you do by solutions, what happens? You will be either here or here or here. You will not go to the gold. We call this as a gold, gold medal as excellent. So if you want to go here, you try to not to avail those. Worst case, if you can't able to solve, then you can go for it. So that is the plan, guys, and you will be receiving your accounts, and you will go to that list and start practicing. Don't give up. One last thing, this is the programming playground, right? If I am you, I'm going to, so all your daily exercises, you go and create here. For example, I want to practice how to print a string, hello world, right? So I would say day 1, day 01 hyphen hello world. Okay. So I'm going to create a program like that. So now I am going to go here. I have this. I'm going to practice it. So all this requires, you need to give inputs, guys. Okay. So I have given one input and I'm scanning this. This is a C language. So don't use C, just go for Python. If you are just want to, just for fun, if you want to practice others, we don't mind, you can do that, but you mainly go for Python. So I have given 2 and I'm getting 2. The reason is I'm doing a input, that value is given and I'm reading that as it is. I'm basically printing here. If I want to print, just hello world. So I can even remove this and I can run it. So I printed my hello world, right? What if I want to basically whatever I type here, I want to print there, right? Got it? So this is how we do things. So here what I want to tell you is, like just now I copied one example, remember from there. These are the data types, right? So I can even take that code and I go to my, sorry, this is, it's supposed to go to labs that we are going to come, will give you the update. So you go back to that playground and create a new program. I would say day01 hyphen data types. Then 01. When you want to do more exercises, so again you mark it as 1, 2, 3 like that. So that data types 1, right? So create the program. And then I'm going to practice this one data types here. So paste my code. It is disabled. We'll enable that for you because this is the playground that you should have a paste option. Generally, we. So this code you need to basically from here you need to type all this. It's better to type so that you get hands-on experience. If you do like blindly, if we copy and paste here, what happens? In 30 seconds, I'm done, but my memory will forget about it. Okay, in 30 seconds later. Yes or no? So that is, see, it's all about training, right? So if I train my memory harder, it will remember long time. If I use my shortcut, just copy and paste here and run it, then I will enjoy that outcome for 30 seconds. My memory will be losing that the practice after 1 minute. Then in the market, when I go for interviews, when I try to go for bigger packages and betterment, then obviously I will fail, and all of this whatever the shortcut I have taken is useless. So I would recommend you guys copy this content into a notepad like this from that lessons, and then from here let's go on, right? 1 second, let me close this. So you are going to type, for example, I am typing a equal to 2 and print value, right? So I can do a equal to 2 and then A. So what am I going to get? Value 2. That is a number practice. Next one is integer. So I'm going to do like, it can need not to be this big of number, but whatever the number you want. So I want to list like equals to some number that. Hello, who is Aradhiji? Can you people? So we can find somebody is not muted. So can you mute them?
Yeah, done.
So now I'm going to print this, right? Similarly, you can start doing this exercise and able to print more into these numbers. Similarly, you can practice like a floating point, like C equals to 5 point something. Then I am going to print that C value. Either you can, when you are doing the one at a time, you can also do this comment out. Okay, this once you comment, it will not print. The commenting for this is hash. I'm getting a lot of resound. Somebody is still not muted. Even yourself, you mute, please. Okay. So now you are going to get the float point, right? So similarly, you can any exercise that is given there, you can able to define like this, and then say for example, here is the Boolean, right? So you can also practice that, and there's a lot more examples, right? You can basically take those and come here and create examples and manipulate and play with it. See, guys, programming means it's a hands-on, right? You have to practice. There is no shortcut for it. It's way beyond mathematics. People tell you, right, when somebody looking at the mathematics, math book and keep on reading, and without doing, paper practice, people will laugh at, because mathematics is not something that you just read and enjoy it, right? You have to experience it. Similarly, computer science is 1,000 times moderated than the mathematics. Is an extension of mathematics. So obviously, it requires a lot more practice. Just to take the today's feedback, guys. So just see that everything you understood. If there is any questions or everything is clear, are you ready to go for practice? Okay. Very good, very good. So that's a good start for us. So enjoy practicing, enjoy the work. There is really a lot of value for AI people in the market. As you know, this generation is very quick and you are very bright. So you guys know market value. That is the reason you subscribed. But thing is, ultimately, you practice 200% and feel that you are a data scientist. You are a AI member. You are you are AI developer in some extent, and you have a better life in the market. Okay, all the best for you for next few days, and we'll work towards the completion. And all of you, I expect all of you to try to go to the excellence, right? And your certification look like you are gold certified, not just participated.
Shankarji, one more thing. Now, how to send the links actually to these participants?
No, this is the link. Whatever I'm telling.
No, I'm talking about the login and the.
So did you get the Excel sheet from our guys?
Yeah, I sent you already that registered position.
No, not that. In reverse, did you get a user ID password?
No.
Okay, I think those guys need to respond back with user ID passwords.
Okay.
Imran, are you in the? Imran, did you join? Are you in the workshop?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, share it to the group. Are you in the student group?
No, sir, I'm not.
No, not yet, not yet. He has not given the number.
Just ping yourself in the regular WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so you will receive URL, and then also your user ID password in few minutes into your WhatsApp group. Once you log in, you can change your password, and then so that you will have it your own. URL is this one. In case if you want to write it down, it's https://workshop workshop.hebion.com. Okay, so we are done for the day. So everything else will be communicated through the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Students, unless otherwise you practice it, no, you cannot cope up with whatever Mr. Shankar is telling in the next classes. Better actually you practice it, and then you can attend the next class. So next class login will be sent to you in the WhatsApp group and as well as to the email ID. Thank you.
Tomorrow class will be at the same time, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And all of you, if everybody, I think you are okay with the 10 a.m. Time. So we believe that.
Yeah. So one particular college for 12 students, they have entrance examinations in one of these days. So only in that day actually I will postpone or prepone actually the timings. Except that actually the luck exchange.
Okay, your user ID passwords will be shared in the WhatsApp group, guys.
Yeah,
so you will get it in few minutes, in 10-15 minutes, you will get it.
Yeah.
After that, once you log in, go and change your password.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is, I think during this session, 1 or 2 days, some time change will be happening because of some students having exams. So that will be notified in advance, and the video record, you will get it. Okay, you are going to get the video recording link into your WhatsApp group.